Welcome back to the Boneyard Podcast, everybody. This is your host, Jared Shafford, along with my good friend,
Artie and Brower.
We're coming to you this week with episode 203. 203. Artie.
You.
Long time no see, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It has been quite a while. Only been a couple weeks, but it feels like we're taking like a 2-month hiatus from the show. It always feels that way when we take these little mini breaks.
Yeah,
feels like we haven't recorded in eons.
I was trying to think back to okay, what's the longest break we took? And I think 2 weeks is about the longest we've taken.
Yeah, it is.
Over the a couple of times over the last 4 years, right? Yep. Which makes sense, adds up to how we got to 203. We're in season 4 of the Boneyard Podcast. And yeah, Artie, it's good to see you. We got Josh on the ones and twos in the back end, so shout out to Josh. But anything new, man? Anything going on over the last 2 weeks?
Nothing new. Living life, trying to live as best as we can. Same old. Trying to enjoy summer. It's been hot. We've been on a heat wave lately.
Been hot as shit.
We've had a lot of shit going on in the country and in the nation, and just trying to maintain and keep up with all these current events.
Man.
So just trying to maintain.
What went from being honestly one of the most boring presidential election cycles
just
in
flipped
history,
flipped.
All of a sudden went 0 to a million. And I don't care what side you're on. The shit that's going on. Before we get into this, we don't talk politics often. Before we get into this, I want to say one thing. If you're on either side, it doesn't matter. The ones that are making the most noise are the ones on the very far outside. And the ones of us that are more moderate to middle, right? Like you may lean one way or the other. It doesn't matter. You're a friend of the podcast either way. But don't let the people on the far outside either way sway how you feel about your fellow Americans.
Because most of us are decent people that agree on the same things.
Yeah. Jeez, I don't know. Some of the stuff that people are saying, whether it's about Biden or about Trump,
it's just it's just crazy.
What are we doing?
Honestly, what are we doing?
I'm seeing people saying "Oh, I hate that they missed." No, you wanted to see
what are we doing?
You wanted some
man's life here.
Yeah, I don't know.
They were talking about somebody's life.
I don't know. I thought about it. I did want to say that. That's all I've been thinking. And it's crazy. The times that we're living in, and we're gonna get into the podcast. We're gonna talk about sports here in a second because this is bullshit.
Yeah.
But that we live in a crazy world when somebody tries to assassinate a former president, and people just go on about their day.
So, yeah,
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Right. You have your little 15-20 minute, social media spiel where everybody's kind of making fun of it, and then it's all right, back to your regularly scheduled programming. It's no, hold on, this is
what's next. Bring it on. Time to eat. So, all right, Artie. Episode 203 of the Boneyard Podcast. Enough of the political talk. This isn't CNN, Fox News, MSNBC.
No, we're gonna get these people a break from all that
C-SPAN. Bullshit. You don't come here to listen to us talk about that. We don't talk about that. We're here to talk about ECU football, ECU athletics. Artie, 203. Do you have a number 3?
I do have a number 3. It is chalk, but it's not a name that I have mentioned. And I want to go ahead and just give the WNBA some love. And in a year where the WNBA has probably received the most love it has ever received in its history, and deservedly so, I'm going to add on to that.
Can I take a guess?
I mean, it's chalk. Yeah, so go ahead.
Is it Sabrina?
No, it's not Sabrina.
I thought she was 3. Okay, never mind.
Not Sabrina. She actually might be 3, but I'm not sure if she is. But mine is Diana Taurasi. That is my number 3, arguably the greatest WNBA player of all time. Go ahead.
honestly, before this year, her and Sabrina Ionescu, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Those are the only two WNBA. I mean, I guess Brittany Griner.
Yeah, she's
Like
been
you had a couple like Brittany
right.
Griner, Brianna Stewart. Like, okay, but those are the goats.
I mean, what Diana Taurasi, it's pretty understandable because I'm just about to read off some of her accolades. I didn't know she had all this, which is absolutely absurd. But Rookie of the Year, 3-time WNBA champion, 5 Olympic gold medals, Most Valuable Player, 2-time Finals MVP, 5 scoring titles, 3 FIBA World Cups, 10 All Stars, 14 All WNBA teams, voted top 15 player all time, but arguably the GOAT, and also is the WNBA all time leading scorer. So, deservedly so. If all you knew was Diana Taurasi, it's because she's probably the GOAT right now in the WNBA. Also, shout out Candace Parker, who also wore number 3. She's also top 5, in my opinion, all time in the WNBA as well. And if Sabrina is also wearing number 3, then that's just absurd. But shout out to Diana, shout out to Candace Parker.
Those are good ones. Those are good ones. All right, I'm gonna go. Mine, depending on who you're a fan of in MLB, like he's not chalk because he's not like I don't think he would be a household name. It's not somebody people really talked about when they talk history of baseball. Until maybe a little more recently. Mine, his son's actually in the league now. Mine's Dante Bichette.
Okay.
4-time All-Star, won the Silver Slugger. His son Bo is in the league now. I believe like 275 home runs, decent batting average. Like all in all, like a decent MLB player. Only wore the number 3, I believe, in 1991 when he was with Milwaukee. So that's my number 3 is Dante Bichette. Almost went Artie, like we were talking, like 3 is one of those underrated like GOAT numbers.
Yeah, it is, honestly.
Like 3 is my favorite number. Like in all my games, everything, I wear 63, but number 3 is like my OG favorite number.
Okay.
And it's when you think of Babe Ruth, you think of Dale Earnhardt, raise hell, praise Dale. When you think of like an AI or Dwayne Wade or Tracy McGrady, like you think of these guys, and okay, yeah, they wore number 3. That I don't know. We were just talking about that before we came on. So number 3.
I didn't know that many GOATs had worn the number 3 until I actually looked it up and Googled it. I was like, wow, there's a lot of all-time players that wore the number 3.
Yeah, it's one. Like I said, it's one of those numbers that like kind of flies under the radar, and I don't know. People take notice if you've got number 3 on. It's also a number that like it's just kind of a random number, right? Like, hey, this guy wears number 3. It's not number 1. It's not number 5 or number 10, right? Like one of those like, okay, that number carries something. It's just number 3, and few wear it, but the few that wear it do it justice.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move along.
Let's do it.
Shout out to the College Huddle, Boneyard Podcast. Proud to be members of the College Huddle. We're changing the game for college podcasting, college football podcasting. It's a fan-led podcast group. We added another one today. I don't even know what number we're up to, but we got to be pushing 60, 70 podcasts in the College Huddle. Added Southern Cal, USC today.
Nice.
Shout out. But we've got, I mean, and we've a lot of the friends of the podcast from a podcast standpoint, like we've had a lot of those podcasts on even before. So we knew them, and it's just kind of been something that we've grown with. So really excited about it. Check out the College Huddle, the weekly huddle. If you want to listen, there's a group of 5 huddle. Check that out. So yeah, Shout out College Huddle, and also shout out. I haven't given a shout out in a while to the Variety Sports Network. There's been some changes to the Variety Sports Network. We're still a part of it, but we don't push for it as much. I'll just say that. But they're still, all those people are still great people, and we're still excited and down to help whenever they need us to help. All right, Artie, the MLB draft was this past weekend. Trey Savage, first round pick.
We keep cranking them out, baby. Keep cranking them out.
He was picked 20th overall. I was hoping he'd fall a couple more spots to Atlanta, but 20th overall goes to Toronto. I think he was one of the big fallers. Is that how you would say it? He was one of the ones that fell like quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Honestly, him and Vance Honeycutt from Carolina fell quite a bit. I thought both of them would be top 15, borderline top 10 picks. So it was kind of surprising to see Trey drop all the way down to 20. I mean, you're watching it. How often do you watch a draft and the best player on the board is a guy from your school?
Right.
I mean, unless you're in Alabama in football or I don't know, Texas or whatever in baseball, like
right.
But
for us, it's pretty cool.
It is. I'll take it. I hate that he had to be on that list or in that spot for as long as he was, but
right.
he did it with class, and I mean, it was good to see the guy get his name called, and he's going to get to fulfill his dream.
And look, he's still a first round pick. You know, he might have failed, but like there's so many guys that get drafted but don't get to have that notoriety of that claim of like, I was a first round draft pick. What I did in college meant something because it meant that teams were vying for me. Every team in the league would be willing to take me. I'm a first round pick.
Yeah, so, and it's not like the old days when, like, honestly, the draft didn't matter. There used to be like 70 rounds in the draft.
So that just sounds terrible.
Like, imagine that. Like, it
just sounds awful.
With the 22nd pick of the 70th round.
It just sounds terrible.
The Cleveland Guardians take Artemis Brower II, left bench. Forsyth Tech University.
Not Forsyth Tech.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Mike Piazza, we were talking about it in the group chat the other night. Mike Piazza was, I believe, a 69th round pick and became a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so, and it doesn't, I knew a guy in high school that got picked in the first round. Being picked in the first round in MLB, now it means a little bit more because there's not as many rounds.
Right. But it's not a surefire thing.
But it's never a surefire thing if you are drafted that you're going to make the majors, right?
It's not a surefire thing in any sport, to be honest.
Right. But some more than others. And MLB is probably the hardest one to make it, just from the sheer amount of people that are drafted or in an organization.
Right.
Right. It's easy to get lost in the sauce in the minors. So shout out Trey. I'm excited for him to look. We were also talking about this in the group chat the other night. There are a lot of ECU guys that are banging on the door to make it big in the pros or are performing at a very high level in the pros. I mean, we talk about Jeff Hoffman, guy just was it in the All-Star game? I didn't watch the All-Star game, so I couldn't tell you if he pitched or not, but I mean, made the All-Star game. That's huge. Alec Burleson doing what he does. Connor Norby, if he wasn't on the Orioles, would most likely be in the majors.
Yeah.
Like, dude is just absolutely killing the ball. Pretty decent fielder. Like, we have so many. We just have so many that are right there. And ECU could be like it's almost getting to the point to where there's going to be a guy on most nights that's playing in the game, and it's a guy from ECU. It's pretty exciting. I mean, think Carson Wisenhut, Gavin Williams, like there's just so many. But
And
go ahead.
I was gonna say, you just hope recruits are looking at this too, right? Looking at how many guys that we're sending to the pros, sending to the draft, and you just hope that that we're kind of standing in the back of the mind, like, okay, I don't have to necessarily go to one of these name brands, even though I think ECU is in baseball is kind of a name brand, but some of these bigger programs, I might be able to, go to an ECU and still make it to my dream.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, and there's been, I mean, I think NC State had 3 guys drafted, and one of them wasn't a guy that used to play third base at ECU.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you can Cliff Godwin should be going in there and talking to these kids and saying, like, look, more and more college athletes are getting drafted, and this year at there were 2 schools in North Carolina that had 6 guys drafted. One of them was Chapel Hill. One of them was East Carolina University.
Yep. We could be right. About something.
I mean, I believe Vanderbilt had 7. Like there the most I think drafted were 9, but ECU had 6. That tells you a lot. And I don't think all these guys are going to be gone. I worry about JJC.
Right.
He's got. Does he take the money, or does he come back and try to prove it? I don't know. What are your thoughts on JJC?
Yeah, I mean, would love to see him come back. I mean, I don't know if it's really going to pan out for him if he necessarily does it, but who knows? Who knows? I don't know. That's one that's kind of up in the air, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I just I wouldn't be surprised if him. I think McChrystal comes back. It's just so hard on a catcher. I'm really not sure. JJC, I think he'd come out in the position he plays, the way he plays in the outfield. He could come back and be, because JJC had a great year, but it's still like maybe wasn't as good as it could have been. And I do think that
you think he's got that itch.
I think so, but I think he has another level he could get to in college, like, which is scary, right? It seemed like while he performed very well, there were nights that he just didn't have it, right? Like a Carter Cunningham seemed like he was on all the time,
right?
JJC this year didn't feel that way. Like, and I mean that's a guy, I believe, what was it? He led the conference in RBIs. Like, I'm saying that about a guy that led the conference in RBIs, right? It
but
felt like
when he played that well, but you still think he has an extra level he can get to.
Yeah, and it's not a knock on him. I just think that there's more.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it helps him to come back more so than like the selfishness of wanting to see JJC come back and dot in the purple and go? Do you think it actually helps him coming back?
It's one of those. It's one of those catch-22s. Like I could see him coming back, and I could see it working out, but I could also see him coming back and it not going well, and that's the risk, right? I believe that his draft signing bonus was like $250,000 and somewhere in that ballpark. you could come back and make a push for, I don't know, make a push for a top 5 round pick, right? Like in the first 5 rounds. You can make a push for that. But will he perform at that level? I don't know. I think he could. I'm honestly surprised he was drafted as low as he was. But yeah, I think he can. And that's not that it's like we talk about with these football guys. Like, we understand why guys go to the draft in football when they go. Like, I think back to some of the guys in the past, and it's like, well, why did they go then? Why didn't they wait another year? Right? I think they would have had a better opportunity if they had just played their senior year. But some of these guys, that's just not what they want to do. They want to go try to make it, and then it works. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But I err on the side of caution when you're at ECU, especially in football, maybe not so much in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Get that go that extra year and try, because you need all the film, you need all the scouting eyes you can get on you.
I think a lot of times too, when it comes to football, though, it's like the situation that those guys are in, and then also you run the risk of serious injury, because obviously in football, serious injury can happen at any point in time, right? And a lot of these guys are thinking, okay, well, I'm coming from a certain situation. I'm trying to put my family on. I'm trying to put myself on. I have an opportunity to go make this contract, this check right now. I think that plays a huge factor into their decision. But I will agree, a lot of these guys, it's going to be more beneficial for them to come back, do their extra year, get that game film, that stuff on tape, and they just really need the experience. Just not ready, right? A lot of these guys are just not ready for the big leagues and like the pressure and the kind of accountability that it takes to play in a professional setting. But circumstance has a lot to do with it.
For sure. All right, so I'm just going to rattle off some other names. Carter Cunningham, drafted in the 10th round. This is 107 pick. I believe that was 307. Also to Toronto, Ryan McChrystal, I mentioned him earlier. 9th round, 269th pick to Cincinnati. Wyatt Lunsford Shinkman, 16th round, 483rd pick. And then lastly, Eric Ritchie, the 19th round, 582nd pick. I think some of these guys are going to be back. I think they're gonna say, okay, let me get back to next year. So, anything else on that before we get into our position group previews?
Hey, shout out to all those guys. I know we did not achieve what we wanted to achieve, but still had a very successful baseball season. Shout out to those guys, and nothing but the best of luck.
Yeah, for sure. All right. This week we're gonna preview 2 position groups, and we're gonna start hot with them. Artie,
start with number 1 position.
Like, I almost texted Josh, like, hey, let's talk about like the specialists this week, but Josh came out hot with the notes.
We're starting with the number 1 numero uno, the position.
Maybe we should start with the other one on this episode, and then talk about that.
That's cool.
Next, so we'll skip that position, but let's talk linebackers.
Yeah.
So I mean, we were talking on the episode, or before we hopped on here. This linebacker core, this group of guys, in my opinion, over the last 2 years, 3 years, this has easily become the best position group at ECU. And
okay,
I mean, you can make a case for the D line too, but like
D line's gonna be like that. D line's gonna be nice.
I feel like, especially when maybe I should say most improved.
I would agree with most improved.
Like, I think back to like Blake Harrell's first year with the program, and like some of the tackling that was made and some of the arm tackling, and they didn't have that physicality. They didn't have that snarl. This linebacker group,
Yeah.
you better tuck your head, man, because if you don't, you're gonna get it knocked off.
All you can hope for is dogs. At the end of the day. When it comes
and they
to
got a ton of
defense,
them.
you want some dogs, man. You just want some guys that are going to get after it. That's really what you can hope for. I mean, obviously, skilled guys, smart guys, keep their head on a swivel. But defense is about effort, tenacity, dog mentality. So I definitely agree that this is one of the most improved, one of the deepest linebacker positions that we've had. Our front seven has been like that for the last 2 years now, going on the better part of 3 years. But I'm excited for this linebacker crew. There's two guys in particular that I'm really excited for, but I know we're gonna break it down here. So, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, we'll start with the guy that I think he's going to be the new household name. He was already kind of that going into kind of finishing out last year. Samuel Donka, dude's an absolute stud, and he just has that physicality. He has that build of a scary linebacker that you do not want to see over the middle.
Yeah.
Last year, I mean, he's appeared in 19 games, but he's tallied 20 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss for 4 total yards. He's just one of those guys, and he's a junior. He's got 2 more years. Right. So, and he's kind of probably becoming one of the captains. He's probably the leader of this position group, in my opinion.
You think so?
I think at this point, yeah.
I think Mike Edwards might have something to say about it. There's one other guy, and I'll probably mention him here in a little bit. But I could agree. Samuel Donka, because he has that experience. He's a junior guy. He's going to be a veteran in that locker room. He knows what Coach Harrell wants at this point in that defense. So I would agree that Donka is going to be one of those guys that is a leader of that group.
For sure. You want to take the next one?
Shane Perry. This is honestly what I'm curious about. Transfer, senior, played at what school did he play at? Is it Georgia Southern?
No. Would that be Samford? I believe.
Samford.
No, he's from Barton. Shane Perry. Yeah, from Barton.
Yeah.
Why was I thinking? There's too many Bulldogs.
Yes, very true.
I saw Bulldogs. I'm like, okay, what school we talking about here?
We could just do a ranking of like the Bulldog teams.
Nonetheless,
just like the Owls in this damn conference.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we got 3 or 4 now.
Yeah, something like that.
You can't have 3 or 4 of the same mascot in one conference.
But extremely curious about Shane Perry, 2-time All-South Atlantic Conference first team selection in 2022 and 23. Appeared in 37 career games where he tallied 316 tackles, 169 solo tackles. So obviously this guy has some production. He's been all over the field. Curious about him. He's a question mark. Don't know how he's going to come in and fit right away. If he's going to be a starter, if he's going to be competing for a starting spot, if he's just going to be a rotational guy. But definitely someone I'm curious about because he is a senior. He does have that experience. So he's definitely going to be someone who wants to make an impact right away because obviously he only has a year or 2 left. So
yeah, I'm gonna skip one. I'm gonna go to Mike Edwards, and just like you said, I think it's him and Donka who are the two like.
For me, this is the number one guy. I think between Mike Edwards I'm expecting him to make some big moves.
And I could see like I think you're depending on what ECU is going to run. I mean, I believe they'll probably stick with a 4-3, but Mike Edwards, Sam Donka, and then also Kingston McKinstry. Yeah. Those are going to be kind of your guys, right? You're going to see Zake Barker kind of get in there, but you've got a lot of experience at this position, and you're going to use it.
Yeah.
Right. But Mike Edwards, I mean, 2 years at ECU, he transferred in from Georgia Southern. I mean, he played all 13 games in his first season, starting 11 of 12 last year. He's gonna make a huge impact on this team, and I think I mean, you got to remember, this was a defense that was, I believe, a top 30 defense in the country last year and went 2-10.
Yep.
And they just got older. And they got more experience.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I'm excited for this defense.
I definitely think Mike Edwards is going to be the guy. Like you said, McKinstry, Donka, all three of those guys are going to all be in the mix. One other one that I would say keep an eye on is Damian Wilson. I know he didn't do much at Missouri, but 21 career games. I kind of had a little bit of experience. He's someone I think might come in and try to make an impact right away as well. Just keep your eye on Damian Wilson. Not saying he's going to be like, a difference maker, but keep your eye on Wilson.
Yeah, I could see him slotting in if we go 3 up front. I could see him coming in.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's the thing, Artie. When you play at the tempo that ECU's defense plays, you're going to need guys to stay fresh. And you've got bodies that you can take somebody out and let them get a couple plays off, and then get them back in there at the first chance you get. Right.
Right.
So I think it's going to be. It's going to be vital that this unit does what it's done over the last 2 years and continues to build off of it. Anything
more sacks in this unit too. If I get more sacks, I need more sacks out the front seven. We got a lot of tackles for loss. I need to get some more sacks this year.
Yeah, I think that's been like maybe the biggest gripe, that they may not be getting the sacks, but they're not letting teams run all over them.
No, the tackles for loss are there. The gang tackling is there. The dog mentality is there. I just want to shake up that quarterback a little bit. That's all. I just want to get him shook up a little bit.
Yeah, you shake up that quarterback. Guess what? Those DBs are gonna. That's when they're gonna eat.
Exactly.
And
that's
you got a guy like Siobhan Revel out there. I mean, we're gonna eat on defense. ECU. Artie, let me ask you. Does ECU finish? I'm going to say, is this a hot take? ECU finishes with a top 20 defense in the country. You got to remember, think about who we play this year.
It's a buttery biscuit schedule.
Exactly.
It is a soft. It's a schedule meant for us to have a bounce back. That I will say that.
I mean, you were top 30 last year. You played honestly a tougher schedule last year. You play a pretty cupcake schedule this year.
I mean, I would say we arguably only played 3 of the top 4 or 5 teams in the conference. So,
yeah. I mean, you do have Liberty. Liberty's not going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the hardest game. Liberty and App.
Liberty.
Those are the hardest games.
Yeah, and then I mean, you play pretty close with Navy. I would think you would do the same with Army last year. I mean, we all know how that goes, but I don't know. I could see it, ECU having a top 15 defense.
Oh, so you said top 20. Now you're going top 15?
Did I say top
15? Top 15?
I'll say, okay, I'll go back to 20. I think 20 is the number I said first. I almost said 15 first, but I'll go back to 20.
Top 15 is, I mean, we better be damn near fighting for a playoff spot. We've got a top 15 defense.
I think the playoff spot for the group of 5 comes from the American. I still do. I think you're going to have so much. You're going to have so much cannibalization in the Sun Belt that the spot comes from the American.
Or, I mean, you could just have that like a Liberty did. You could just have that one team that is just reels off 12-0 and they beat 1 to 2 or 3 ranked opponents, one of those being in the Sun Belt, right? And then they squeeze it. See that?
I'll say Liberty had the easiest schedule last year.
And it showed in their bowl game against Oregon. But yeah. Oregon was worthy of being in the playoff, for being honest. So
Liberty could very well start the season 1-2. They play App and ECU. And I would not be surprised if we won that game.
Of course, I wouldn't be surprised if we won any game on our schedule this season. But to answer your question, no, I don't think we're going to be top 20. I think we'll fall somewhere between 25 and 30 like we did last year. as long as we are finishing a spot or two ahead of where we finished last year. This one is continuously, gradually getting better. I don't think top 20 just yet. That's a tall task. That's an elite defense.
I'm just thinking the amount of experience on this defense and the schedule that you play.
Would I be shocked? No, wouldn't be shocked. But
you don't play any world. I mean, you started the season against the future national champs, right? So, I mean, you don't have a team on the schedule like that. So, all right, let's get to the position group everybody wants to hear about.
So,
quarterbacks. Josh, you really wanted us to get into this early.
Out the gates. Why not?
We'll start with Raheem Jeter. Honestly, good on him for staying in the program. I'm honestly kind of surprised. I thought
I am a little shocked.
I thought that he was gone for sure.
Right. Someone with his potential and skill set, I definitely thought he was going to be gone.
And does he have the game experience? No. I think he has the capability to be a D1 quarterback. I don't know if he's a starter fully, but the fact that you had the abysmal offense that you had last year and the terrible quarterback play that you had last year, and he only got action and garbage time against Gardner-Webb.
It does speak to how much he wasn't ready for that. Even for that offense last year, he wasn't ready for that moment. So,
but good on him for staying.
What I'll say though, you do not want to go into a situation where you become another Mason Garcia, right? Because I think Garcia sat for too long, and that's the reason why it was a detriment. I think it was a combination of him sitting too long, and then the expectations that he had on him once he did become the starter, and then obviously getting that week 1 start against the future national champion. I think it was a lot of stuff that really went wrong for Garcia.
You think?
A lot of stuff that went wrong. Jeter can't be that. I would hope that, and obviously I'm selfish. I'm purple and gold, but I would hope that he tries to find greener pastures if it doesn't work out. Because you don't want to run into a situation where this kid is just sitting. Because obviously the writing's on the wall. If he's not good enough, you got to keep bringing transfers in. You got to keep bringing other guys in from outside the program. When you got somebody sitting here, the writing's on the wall that he's just not ever really going to be good enough to be the guy. So you want to avoid a Mason Garcia again.
Yeah. And I don't think he has the hype of a Mason Garcia.
True.
I mean, everybody was thinking, okay, Mason Garcia, he's the next ECU GOAT, right?
Right. I mean,
it's going to be a smooth transition from Ehlers to Mason Garcia, and it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Right. And I think everybody wanted Garcia to work out. It just didn't happen. Jeter, I worry that he's going to just be stuck in a second, third string his entire career here at ECU.
Yeah.
Because you have 2 years of Jake Garcia and then 3 years of Caden Hauser for ECU. So
and it's really just a two-headed monster at this point. It's Garcia and Hauser.
Yeah,
those are the guys.
I don't think Jeter's the guy unless somebody gets hurt, which that's always a possibility. But
right,
I don't think he's the guy this year. Could I see him making a push next year? Sure, but right now I don't think that's him. I think it's down to Jake Garcia. I think it's down to Caden Hauser. And if I had to guess, Artie, I think they have an idea of what's going on.
I do too.
And
they're not going to do what they did last year.
I think
they're going to call it one.
I think it's Caden Hauser. I think Caden Hauser has it. Of course, they're not going to announce it. My guess is they'll announce it at Media Day sometime next month. But I think going into camp, like it's got to be Caden Hauser.
I think so too. I do think the writing's on the wall for Hauser. I know they're trying to make it seem, kind of like a somewhat of a dead even heat or real competition, which I know Garcia is providing that because obviously he wants to be the guy too. But I do think it's Hauser, and I think with him getting the experience that he had at Michigan State last year, it was an abysmal season for Michigan State, but still getting that experience, playing some legit defenses in the Big Ten. Going through those growing pains, and then obviously kind of getting this soft schedule that he's getting. He's not facing any defense this season that he faced last year in the Big Ten. So yeah, I think Hauser's going to be the guy.
Yeah, and you got to remember Jake Garcia coming off. He didn't play at all last year.
Exactly.
Played 9 games at Miami back in 2022, but didn't see the field last year when he was at Mizzou. Caden, while he was on a pretty shit team,
yep,
he still was, like you said, he was still getting that experience being a quarterback in the Big Ten and playing against, let's be honest, the Big Ten has the best defenses in college football.
Them in the SEC. I'll say the SEC definitely still has some.
Yeah, but you're not seeing teams getting blown out and having 70 dropped on them.
Yeah.
In the Big Ten, like you are at times.
Yeah, when you play in Iowa and Ohio State, a Michigan,
Penn State
defense, those are legit pro style defenses.
Yeah, maybe not Rutgers and Maryland, or Michigan State.
Yeah.
But the others. I think it's Caden Hauser all the way. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Garcia get some reps early in the season. I think that they've got it. I think those two, from what I can tell, and this is from a distance and on the outside looking in, I think those two have a good friendly competition going.
Which is what you want.
And that's all you could ask for.
Yeah.
Right.
Both of those guys want to be the one, but they understand that only one can be the one, and they're going to support whoever it is. So,
but I think that's also been a problem for ECU in the past is there's been competition, but there's never truly been a competition. Mm-hmm. And until last year, but then that competition, when you have a competition, you need a little bit of piss and vinegar on it, right? Like you need a little snarl. And Alex Flynn and Mason Garcia didn't bring any of that. Sorry about it.
I will say I am very intrigued to see how Coach Houston handles Media Day, though, because I think Media Day last year was abysmal.
It was brutal. We left Media Day and we got in the car and we were all pissed off.
Yeah, it was absolutely abysmal. You have to have a win.
We tried to sugarcoat it. We tried to sugarcoat it on the podcast, but we were pissed. The whole car ride, we were like, "What are they doing?"
Yeah, when you're only a few weeks out from game one, you need to know who the one is.
I don't think Houston makes that mistake again.
I don't either. But I'm very curious to see how he handles it.
Yeah, and I think he truly has given over the reins to JDB. Like I think that he's I won't say being forced to, but I think that he's probably been told, hey, you're on you need to get shit done. And if you don't, we're going to have to reconsider some things.
And that's honestly, that's part of being a great leader too, right? Knowing when to back up, take a step back, and also knowing when to step up. That's really what being a leader is about. So
you hire people for the position. If you hire somebody or you have somebody in the position that you don't trust to make the decisions, then you did a bad job hiring them. So bringing in a new offensive coordinator and one of the stature and one that, I mean, was in the SEC. Was he a solo offensive coordinator in the SEC? Was he calling plays? No, but he was coaching under Lane Kiffin. He comes from that coaching tree, right? And he comes with that same kind of mentality and swagger. And you bring him in, and he has the opportunity to go out and like prove himself as an offensive coordinator here at the D1 level. I think Coach Houston knows that he's got to let him do his thing.
Yeah, he's got to let him loose.
Everybody's been excited all off season ever since I believe it was December 2nd when it was announced that JDB was getting hired. Everybody thinks about, okay, this is the guy. Everybody's been thinking about this high octane speed offense. And if you come out there and it's the same old conservative Mike Houston offense,
yeah,
you're going to have a lot of angry Pirate fans come week 3. So that's my 2 cents.
Agreed.
All right. What's next? NCAA football game. Oh, we had a question. Oh, we kind of just answered the question.
Yeah.
The question was, how's Eric Garcia? I know it carries 0 real world value, but Garcia comes with a higher value in college football 25. Curious to know more people's thoughts on these 2 QBs and who they think want to start in August. I want the best quarterback that the coaching staff feels is best to lead this team into week 1. Now, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, week 1, you are playing an FCS opponent. I wouldn't be surprised if you see both guys for a little bit, just to get reps, right? But I don't think you go into – I think you still go into it knowing who's going to be the number 1 for the foreseeable future, at least for this year.
I agree.
All right, Josh, you want to come in? Since you're the only non-poor
one that has played the game, only knowledgeable person in this podcast about college football 25.
I'm spending. I told my wife, I said, I'm not coming to bed tomorrow night. Like, I'm just not. I'm gonna take shots of coffee. I'm gonna drink coffee all day.
Shots of coffee, bro.
My heart might stop. Will it be from pure enjoyment or will it be from caffeine? Who knows? College football 25.
It is here, baby.
It is here.
Josh, talk to us.
You're on mute, man. Come on. Rookie mistake.
There we go. Rookie mistake. First thing I'd say is if you don't know football, you're going to need to learn. You got to learn defensive coverages. Or I'll say this: if you play above the Mickey Mouse easiest level,
right,
you can easily play down there, and you can have fun. You can be Alabama if you want to be. You can be Georgia if you want to be. You can do that. But for those of us who are really trying to play the game, right, right.
If you're choosing to be Bama or Georgia in NCAA 25, you can walk the damn plank.
Well, you're doing yourself a disservice, man. You might as well play with one of these smaller known programs and create a dynasty with them. Like, that's the whole point of getting the game. You're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing. I would say, getting used to the controls, selecting plays is not quite the same as Madden. So like you can't I'm still learning my speed on the no huddle turbo mode. At least I'm currently I'm playing on varsity, about to level up probably tomorrow since I'm 3 days in, or I guess 4 days now. Turbo mode, you only have 2 play options. It'll give you a run, it'll give you a pass. So be sure that you have it set up to where you've got a good pass and a decent run because I set up slants against an ISO halfback draw. So when I'm in that speed mode, I'm just quick slants and then running up the middle. Yeah, that's that. There's just so much about this game. I'm creating my own custom playbook. There's not enough option in the Ole Miss playbook. ECU's playbook, I don't think is updated. It doesn't look enough like Ole Miss's playbook for me to think that it's a current playbook. So I'm just adding a whole bunch of triple option stuff. And
You just have a bunch of run up the middle, Donnie Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, just straight
legit. No, that's pretty legit though. It's not much.
We're gonna do this design QB sneak.
Let me check. I think the ECU playbook is it has like 4 formations. It's like shotgun and one other formation. Like it's not even yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Kind of high school.
Dynasty is hard. You gotta really know what you're recruiting for. Don't be like me and just go for the guys that have you in their top 5. If you don't need them, you don't need them because I'm currently like 10 players short on my roster. I have 10 available scholarships if anyone wants to join.
You got to really game plan. You got to do homework. You got to really game plan in here to be successful. Okay.
Raheem Jeter might actually see the field on Josh's team. Too bad it won't be at quarterback. He's going to be playing long snapper.
I'm on season 3, I messed up the first 2 years of recruiting. Gonna have to recover or just restart. So,
love that.
Yeah.
I love it. How's everything else like? As far as like, are the graphics as good as advertised? The intros, the music, it's all top notch. Okay.
The intros are good.
Can I just say, like, maybe it's because I haven't seen the game yet and haven't played it myself. Do they not run out of the skull?
No.
That seems like a miss.
No team has the actual prop that they run out of.
Okay.
We do have they have the purple smoke, but there's not the actual prop. I think they were focused more on getting the people right. I think because the band looks fine in every single stadium that I've seen. The dynamic attendance is real. I was 2-2 to start season 2.
Yeah, nobody.
Dowdy Ficklin looked like Dowdy Ficklin of last year.
Nobody in the stadium.
With the dynamic attendance, do they show up like, so you know how the student section doesn't show up until 7 minutes into the first quarter? Is that true too? Like they show up and then they leave at halftime?
I haven't noticed. I don't really pay attention throughout the game. I just notice it like when they do the pan shot at the beginning. I'm like, oh, there's like no one here.
That's fantastic. So if you have a shitty team, nobody's going to be in the stadium. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Now that my first season when I went against App State and I was undefeated. I guess I was undefeated going into the App State game on season 1 of Dynasty. Jam-packed stadium, jam-packed. But yeah, you got to be weary of that in Dynasty.
I take it you still have ECU in the American.
I did not change anyone's conferences.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is going to be part of a different Dynasty. This is my intro Dynasty.
Gotcha.
Doing a 5-year OC.
What are the teams outside of ECU you want to do a Dynasty with?
I think I'm still going to do ECU for my next 2 that I have planned. One of them is going to be with a really, really multiple offense like I'm creating right now with the playbooks. But I'm going to be the head coach on that one. And I'll actually know how to recruit. And then the other one, the second one, the third one, I'll probably end up mixing up the conferences and just kind of seeing what that feels like. But then I'm also in the online Dynasty with the huddle, college football huddle.
Okay.
Are you in the Xbox one?
Yeah, I'm in the Xbox. Yeah.
I'm going to be doing the PlayStation one. So the Boneyard podcast will be well represented in the college huddle online Dynasty.
Love it.
Artie, you gonna get the game? Like what's going on?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
All right. Yeah. No, I told Savannah, like, you probably won't see me this weekend. So just get ready. I'll mow the yard Saturday, but that's about it. Got to get those stripes right. All right. Anything else you wanted to add on NCAA, Josh? Before I think we were. Do we have another rating?
If you guys want to do jerseys, I'm prepped. I will be doing a stream after this of a couple of games tonight.
But
On here?
Not on here, on my Twitch.
okay.
I need to do that. I'm gonna be talking to you.
Gotcha.
All right, because I've been thinking about just streaming here.
Yeah, I could do that.
Send us the Twitch name, the Twitch streaming name.
We'll do.
You can just pop it up on the scroll thing. Pop it up on the scroll.
That's it.
Follow Josh at my guess Knowledgeable
Soul, yeah.
Knowledgeable Soul. All right. So this week we're gonna do a rating every week, and this is this week we're gonna do a fun one. It's gonna be the worst, or I guess not worst. We're gonna rank the jerseys, uniform combos in the American Athletic Conference, and we're gonna talk about them. I highly suggest, if you're listening to this on Apple, if you're not watching it live, like many of you are, but if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, highly suggest going to getting on YouTube later on and watching this, because I believe we're gonna have examples and we're gonna talk through them. So yeah, here we go. Josh, you got we got like double Josh squared. Josh, I'll let you take it away. Maybe not.
Oh,
we got the ranking. Oh, bye. You're on mute again. The joys of doing a live show.
Hey, we can't take 2 weeks off anymore ever again.
right.
All right. First off, we're gonna start with Temple. Okay, we're gonna start with Temple.
Okay.
Let me get the right screen up.
Gotta love this, right? Like dead air. But
there we go.
Josh, we're just getting you ready for the season.
Temple. Many times we're gonna put Josh on the spot. It's okay.
Josh,
many times.
I just want you to know we do appreciate you.
Facts.
Hey, and I appreciate
it at this point.
All right. Temple. Oi.
Yeah. How are we feeling about Temple? You know, nice blacks, nice whites.
I'm going to say the blacks are actually kind of nice. I'm rocking with the blacks.
I think we can all agree that the blacks are nice. I saw those grays up there; those were all right. Not crazy that are they Under Armour or are they back to Nike?
They're still Under Armour.
So
yeah. Don't mind those grays.
That's okay. I will say out of the three between Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour is batting third.
Yeah. But I think.
They're Nike now. They're Nike now.
They are Nike.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're still not the greatest.
They're kind of right in the middle, right? They're not terrible. They're not the greatest. I think the red's kind of basic.
So
yeah, they look like high school jerseys to me.
So our categories are: covers the pads. Everybody's jerseys should do that. has some color, bring in some heat, classics and greats,
Okay.
and then the hands down greatest jerseys.
Okay.
Temple, I'll say, has some color. For like, if it were just up to me, I like the black. I like the gray. Not crazy about the cherry or the white, which
Okay.
are like their two main uniforms.
I will agree. I will say has some color. I'm close to bringing some heat, but
They don't bring no heat.
They got one combination that's really fire, and that's the All Blacks, and that's anybody can be fire in All Blacks. So
that's true.
Josh, your take? Or are you going to show us yours at the end?
No. I'm just gonna go with you guys and say that it is just has some color. I think the gray. I'm gonna show this one real quick. This gray right here.
that's
I don't know what it is about that color that Nike's doing, but if they would just not do that, that'd be great. And then this would be a decent uniform.
Yeah. They just remind me of like Houston.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Basically. And Cincinnati. I mean, it's kind of. All right.
What's next?
Next team, Memphis. Just going to go in order here. Next team is Memphis. Now, they really like their grays. They really like their grays.
They wear their grays almost like their home jerseys.
Yeah.
Like the plain blue is not good. I do like the tiger stripes though. I like the tiger stripes on the helmets. They've got one of the more underrated helmets in football, in my opinion.
That is facts.
But are we a blue stripe on gray? Are we the silver on blue? Like what's your tiger? Blue on black. What's your tiger stripe?
The blue on gray. The blue on gray is the cleanest look.
Yeah,
that's the cleanest look.
Not the blue on white.
The blue on white is nice, but I think that blue on gray is clean.
And not the blue on chrome.
Oh no, that looks bad.
Yeah, I can do without the chrome. I can do without the chrome.
Yeah, miss me with the chrome.
I just like their regular logo in general too. I mean, just that classic M with the tiger. I mean, that's also a dope logo.
It is.
And like, look at that black. Like that black right there, just the black with the blue just pops.
Yeah, Memphis has good jerseys. They've got good jerseys. They've
got
good helmets. They've got good jerseys.
So where are we putting them, guys? Where are we putting them? I mean, I think the way you guys are talking, it sounds like they're bringing some heat, or they're
at the very least bringing some heat. That's the
lowest. I would put them. I'm thinking classics and grades, just the history there. But
I agree.
Feel free to.
That's where I put them.
Yeah, I actually can agree with that because the Memphis logo, it feels like a retro logo. It feels like it's still one of the few classic logos that's still around.
Yeah, and it's a dope logo. It is,
and it's a dope logo. All right, we got UAB. Now they did this. The fluorescent, people don't like it on the field, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. I think they're all greens with the gold is kind of nice off there to the right. That looks pretty good.
I'm just gonna tell you right now. It's a no from me, dog.
I will say
them and Charlotte are the same.
That UAB dragon logo, though, that saves them every single time. That's one of the coolest logos in all of college football, hands down.
That helmet, that one right there.
This one or this one? Because personally,
that looks like I thought that was Florida A&M when I first saw it.
And then put it on the white. I mean, I like the one with the red. I like the regular, but
Yeah.
if you had to go for like a monochrome look that they're going for,
Mhm.
dual tone, I think this works pretty well.
Like if we're talking logos, to me they got a top 5 logo in the country. But if we're just talking jerseys in general, yeah, it's just
Yeah. I don't like their helm. If we were just talking helmets, they would be in like the top tier. But since we're talking like uniforms, to me, they're either right on par with Temple or even just covers the pads. I don't like the green and gold. I'm going to say the same thing about Charlotte and South Florida.
Just because their helmets are fire, I gotta put them in have some color.
Has some color. Okay.
I will allow it, but I don't like it.
What say you, Josh?
Yeah, I'll put them there too. I don't have any strong feelings towards it.
Mm-hmm.
No strong feelings towards it. So while we said USF, we'll go ahead and get them out the way too.
Trash.
Who wants to wear a highlighter, right?
This is awful.
And the logo sucks. Like
Right. I don't like it. It's just a basic bull logo. It's not.
Like I hate seeing that white show up in Dowdy like with the gold helmet. I think it looks terrible. I think it looks absolutely terrible.
You think this looks terrible?
I think I don't like the green and gold. I don't like green and gold together. I think they look cheap. I think they just don't look good, that color combination. And so I think all of them suck. So USF, UAB, and Charlotte, I think if you want to put them in has some color, fine by me. But to me, they just cover the pads. Now, like nothing. It doesn't do it for me. That reminds me of those like gray. It almost reminds me of those gray stripes that ECU used to wear.
Oh yeah, that don't for our quote unquote black jerseys.
Like whatever was going on there with like that web look. No, you can do so much better with the Bulls and whatnot and green and gold. I don't know.
That's so just covers the pads or has some color. I mean, if they got the highlighter, I mean, can we just say
the highlighter sucks? Just like Baylor.
So you like the highlighter?
No, I don't. I'm just
trying
to get some conversation.
if you have highlighter, you've already lost.
No, this is covers the pads. Let's go and call a spade a spade. This covers the pads. We can move on from South Florida.
All right, we're gonna move on to something better. Here goes Charlotte. Give me this one. How we feeling?
I feel like I've seen the same team 3 times in a row.
Exactly. Now I will say that gold, the gold jerseys that they have, those are nice. So, those.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind those. Or I don't mind those when they wear them with like the white pants and the gold shirt. I saw that earlier. I think that looks good. But like the white gold doesn't look good.
Yeah, that white gold is atrocious.
The green
is eh.
I don't know. The green and gold just does not do it for me.
Quick shout out
is okay.
A quick shout out to Calvin Camp right here. I grew up with him in Hickory. We went to church together.
Nice.
What up?
No, that's covers the pads for me. To be honest with you, they don't have a great logo. Mascot 49ers. That covers the pads.
Growing up in the Charlotte media market, I miss this logo.
I remember
I miss this logo.
I remember
that's a whole lot better than just a plain C with a plane in the middle of it.
It's not
a plane, it's a pick.
Oh no, yeah, pick, whatever it is.
Their helmets just look like the Jets with a C.
Very true.
Awful.
They should just adopt the city of Charlotte's colors, that teal and purple and black, and call it a day.
So they're just covering the pads too.
Yeah. Here we go
All
with
right.
this with the Charlotte USF and North Texas again. Y'all don't get it again.
And
Y'all don't get it again.
yeah, we do. We do. Speaking of North Texas, we'll go ahead and
Now, I
tell me
like-
how it's different. Tell me
I-
how it's different.
it's not much, but I do like they don't have the gold. I like
No, this is worse because I consider this garbage green. Like when I see North Texas, I see a garbage truck. That's what I see. I see a garbage truck.
waste man.
I see waste management. That's what I see. I see waste management. Nah,
Okay, so what about Marshall then?
waste
I like
management.
Marshall.
I think Marshall has shitty uniforms. Just because we respect them, don't mean they got good unis.
Shut the fuck up, Artie.
Their unis are
This is great. This is great. Hey, I
Mar-
like this.
Marshall has decent jerseys.
no, man. They got a plain ass big.
Now that
L.
looks like shit. That looks like something. That looks like a Pop Warner football team. Tell me it doesn't.
Hey, this logo should be in Team Builder tomorrow when it drops. I need that. I want to use this logo.
That's just clip art. That's nothing else but clip art.
All right, so where are we ranking it then?
The lowest
Just
they can
covers
be.
the pad.
I wish it was worse than cover the pads, but the lowest they can be.
All right.
North Texas might have the worst uniforms in the conference.
Nah. I don't.
You
Wait
don't
till you
think
see
so?
Tulsa. Wait till you see Tulsa.
Oh,
Here goes Tulsa. Oh, this is too late.
That's Tulane.
right.
Now Tulane are classics.
I'm not
me-
going to say they're classics.
No,
I'm not going to say they're classics.
those powder
Now
blues
now the powder blues
and
fire.
the green, like that color
Powder blues,
scheme
fire.
is absolutely fire. I think these are right on par with ECU in the conference. Can we just call a spade a spade? ECU and Tulane have the best two uniform sets in the conference.
I think the powder blues are phenomenal. I think when they wear their green, it's phenomenal. I do not like that green powder blue green. Look, that's awful.
I also don't. I don't like their whites. Maybe it's just me. It was something about the whites, but I don't really like them. Like now, the white green isn't terrible, but the like blue green isn't great.
But they are unique. They have a unique logo. Whether you hate it or not, it's unique. It's original. I'm not going to say classic, but what's the one below classic that we got?
Bring some heat.
I'm going to say it's bringing some heat.
Bring some heat. Tulane.
I mean, it's pretty hot.
I don't mind it being in the classics and greats. I just think it's just.
I think it's in the classics. You talk to anybody that knows ball or knows like college football, and you ask them like, "Hey, what's one of the better uniform combos in the country?" Like maybe even from a G5, like they're gonna tell you Tulane's up there.
Yeah.
People know Tulane's uniform combos because they're fire. I would put them in the classics.
Okay.
Josh, what say you?
I'm gonna say bringing some heat simply because I only know of one high school that has even tried to copy the green wave. Do you guys know what high school that is?
No idea.
It is the Ashbrook High School of Gastonia, North Carolina.
Wow.
Home of some greats.
What a pull!
Some basketball
Did
greats.
not
But
know that.
yes.
Gastonia.
So just for that, they're bringing heat. They're
Okay.
bringing heat. Actually, you know what? I'll go classics because honestly, if you've had that logo for so long that high schools have copied it, because this is the Ashbrook I grew up with was the old logo, not the new one. I don't know what that is. But yeah, so I'm gonna go classic with you. I'll go classic with you.
Yeah,
Okay. I don't mind it.
I think they're classic. And real quick, can we talk about the high schools that just steal the logos from college and pro? Like
I mean, look, it's easy. Like there's at least 50 to 60% of high schools in the country.
mine did it.
Yeah,
Mine was just
important.
Notre Dame's logo, but in orange and black.
Yeah. I mean, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess.
My high school used Hawaii's for like 2 years, but we went back to our classic.
We used the wing T helmets, so
Overrated helmets.
I don't know. We had the black and red, the matte black and red wing tees. Some shit was kind of fire.
Are these fire?
UTSA.
Are these fire? That's the question.
I like them.
It's different. It's different. It kind of reminds me of the Denver Broncos, and I love the Denver Broncos colors and combinations. To be honest with you, I like San Antonio's jerseys.
And you can you could even go like white helmet, blue top, and orange pants, or vice versa. You could any combination works.
It's because of their colors are so good. Yeah, you can really do any combination with that.
Kind of like what how ECU is. Like you can do any combination with them,
except for gold jerseys.
Oh well, why can't you do gold jerseys?
Because Adidas won't make them.
They should.
Boo.
We are. Artie and I have been saying. Maybe it's just me. We've been saying ECU needs gold jerseys.
No, they absolutely need gold jerseys. There's no reason why they shouldn't have gold jerseys. No reason. No, I'm putting this in classics. I think their jerseys should be in the classics.
Classics?
Yeah.
See, I think I'm thinking they bring heat. I think they look really good. I don't think they're a classic.
Well, I'm gonna go with the greats part of this one because of the fact that you can use any color in any place,
and
it's always gonna match. It's always gonna look good.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to go with great.
I'll allow it once again.
Now we're gonna get into a really, really good one, and I think everyone's gonna like. Tulsa.
Terrible.
I actually don't mind Tulsa.
Terrible.
I don't mind them.
They are the ugliest.
If you're gonna have just a regular just name, like just the Tulsa name, I like the script that they have, and they kind of jazz it up a little bit on the side of the helmets.
Yeah, I think they're trash.
I don't think they're awful. I don't think they're great, and they are kind of just basic, red, white, and blue.
So they're just bringing some color.
What's?
Yeah, I guess I can't put them in bringing some heat.
There's no heat there.
Yeah.
Other than the heat that Mike Oresco called after that October game in 2020. Okay, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, just have some color.
Have some color.
All right, let's get to FAU. Now, FAU, I mean, there's only one choice here, and I'm going to let you guys make the choice. There's only one.
The red.
Go ahead.
I think that what's the middle one?
Bringing some heat.
Yeah, I think there's some heat there. I like the red helmet. I also like the Florida
sealed the state sealed
like the outline.
Yeah, the outline. Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. And if you're just gonna have regular wet red, white, and blue, I think they do jazz it up.
Yeah, they do a good job with honestly some basic color.
Yeah, I would say bring some heat. I would say bring some heat for FAU.
What say you, Jared?
Yeah, I think they're bringing some heat. I don't think that they're classic or great, but I think that I don't hate looking at them.
I agree. I
Okay.
agree. Now, if they could just figure out how to get their full logo onto the side of the helmet without
Right.
it looking dumb, that'd be great.
Yeah, their logo kind of sucks.
Yeah. All right. Just a few left. Just a few left in the
Nitty
football
gritty.
world.
I can't wait to get Rice.
Rice.
But see, that's not even their jerseys though. Like
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's a one-off jersey.
Right.
They suck.
They're Rice is just normal jerseys.
Rice literally looks like they're a high school.
I would agree. It does. Now I do like the R on the side of the helmet. That does look kind of nice. And I like when they have the Texas, the one of that silver helmet with the R and then the Texas State. That one's pretty nice too. But the actual jerseys,
and like uniform combos,
yeah, they're kind of trash.
Suck. I think that they cover the pads.
They just cover the pads.
Yeah. Like I think that they have some good helmet. Like I like that, but
that's a very nice helmet.
I still like the regular R over that.
You know, and this is where I disagree, right? This is where I'm like, this is where a team gets rewarded for keeping it simple forever,
not messing it up.
And that's the whole point of the classics. Like, yeah, we can trash them all day long because there's nothing new, but that's what makes it great. That's what makes college football great, is that there's so much tradition and history locked into some of these programs. And that R on that blue.
I like that. I like the helmet.
I would say that they're more than cover the pads. To me, they just have some color. It has some color. I wouldn't put them in like bringing the heat or classics and greats, just because when I think of Rice, I don't really think of classic or great. But I do see what you're saying, Josh.
I don't ever think of Rice as being like noteworthy, right? On anything. And I mean, it's much like Duke, right? Like you know, like the D that they got, the blue, but they don't really do anything for me, like I don't know.
Well, football wise,
I mean, in
basketball wise, a completely different story. But football wise,
yeah, I mean that's a completely different discussion. Yeah. But like, just like I don't really like the winged helmets for like Michigan, right? I get it, but I don't like it. But they're great, or they're considered great because of the history.
No, I get that. There's plenty of people that don't like the winged tee. I get that. And the winged helmets.
Yeah. All right. Well, they got some color. I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there for you.
I'll let it happen. Army.
All right, Army. Now this is the standard, right? This is the black, gold, white, gray. That's the standard.
They have so many different like looks and combinations though, and so many different unique jerseys that they pop out with.
Yeah, but those are really only for like the
yeah. It's only the Army Navy game.
Army Navy, Army Air Force. I think the color combo is good, but like just knowing how much work they put into some of their other ones, I would like them to pull some of them out more.
Yeah, stop making one-use uniforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still at the very least bringing some heat.
I think they're bringing heat. I don't think I wouldn't call them a classic, but they're bringing heat.
They're bringing heat. Yeah.
Did we lose Josh?
Did we lose Josh?
I'm still here. I've got audio.
Okay. He just went black on us. He went 0 dark 30.
So I do have one question though. How do you feel about them having so many one-off uniforms that you see one time and
That
then you just don't see them again?
if they had more of those, like if they used them more, I would say that they're higher up. But since they don't, like I would like to see them use the same uniform that they wear against Navy, like against
Yeah,
us
but
one year.
that also helps build to the aura and the mystique, right? Like you
Right.
get this one time, right? And you get this for the Army Navy game and that's it, and you don't see it again. That kind of just help like builds to the legend of it. I get it, but it doesn't really bother me. They only have those one off jerseys.
I,
All
I
right.
think I think they bring some heat.
Just because the one-off jerseys, though, or are you talking about just the? I mean,
I,
because like I'm saying, like when we play them, we're gonna get all black.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
They're all black's a good look. They're
The,
all black, and
the
again, anybody can look good in all black, but they're all black with the gold is a good look. I think the
the
whites are a good look. I think that their gold combinations is a good look.
yeah, I would say plus like the Army logo is just clean.
Logo's fire.
Like I like the Army logo over the Navy logo.
Well, it's an actual logo instead of
Yeah.
a big N and then Navy.
And a star.
Speaking of,
Well, they are a star, as with all the NASA and the star, and
now
I
that
think
Navy
Navy
blue and gold
has.
is nice.
Yeah, I think Navy has the best of all the Service Academy specialty uniforms.
That navy blue and gold
The
always.
specialty uniforms, yes. I don't think that they have the best like normal
Week to
uniforms.
week, yeah. I don't think they have. I don't think their week to week is that great.
They don't do anything. I really don't like their normal like uniforms.
The whites are pretty basic. I still like the all navies.
The navies are it's okay. I wish they would incorporate like the gold a little bit more like they used to.
Mhm.
Um I just
They got to be in the same category with Army. They got to be the same. And that old school Ram logo needs to be their permanent logo at all times.
yes.
That needs to be the permanent logo.
Facts. Facts. Yes.
Don't know why they switched up.
I agree. I agree.
I'll put on I would put them, I guess, in the same one as Army.
Okay. All
Uh
right.
we need another tier for Wichita State. They don't have pads.
I was looking at what should I say? Like we judge the basketball jerseys, baseball jerseys.
Wichita State sucks in everything.
Hey, we'll just put them dead last of all of it. Now, we've only got one more team, and
Yep.
there's one category that hasn't been filled. The biggest question is, do you put this remaining team in that final category?
I'll say this that ECU rarely misses with their jerseys. And maybe I'm biased, but they rarely miss. No matter what combo it is, over the decades, they have had classic uniforms.
And we're also highlighted by outside outlets all the time for our excellent jersey combinations, colors, uniforms. Like that's a thing every season. There's somebody saying, "Oh no, you got to check out these EC uniforms."
Week in and week out, we have a top 10 uniform, top 15 uniform in the country. And that's from that's not just us saying that. That's people around the country saying that in their polls and whatnot. Go up a little bit. Scroll back up. I do want to call out. There was a jersey that like this. Stop right there. That bottom right. I've always loved that look.
The black and purple.
The black, purple, black. I've always loved that look.
It's mean. It's a tough look.
We've won plenty of big games wearing that.
It's a tough look.
I do wish our blacks were like the. I like the modern throwback, and that's the thing. You do a modern throwback, and guess what? You do that because your throwbacks or your old jerseys are so great, right?
True.
Now when we had just like the gold or the purple with the white numbers and the gold outline, and it just said ECU, wasn't crazy about that, but it still wasn't terrible.
I was actually going to bring this up because one thing that I actually miss a lot was when we were starting the branding campaign with
Yeah.
those tertiary marks. Like
Yeah. Those
that was bringing a lot of heat in everything that they were doing, and then it just disappeared. And I hate it. I hate that it disappeared.
I don't know what happened there, but yeah,
That
was a
was
fun
great.
time. But look at that picture of Zay Jones right there. Zay Jones and Justin Hardy.
Yeah, that's nostalgia right there.
Like that's just what I feel. I feel like, okay, yeah, it's the second quarter. Zay Jones has scored. Justin Hardy's already scored. I'm probably 15 beers deep on the day, and we're on our way to an easy win.
So where do we put them?
Where do you put them?
If we put them at the top, we're biased.
Of course, we're biased.
So no one's the hands down greatest of the conference.
I mean, if we're talking hands down greatest of the conference, I do think ECU is the best in the conference.
ECU has the best uniforms.
And I don't think that's very debatable.
Logo in the con. When top down logo color jersey combinations, it's I don't even think it's that close. I mean, I think you have Memphis there and then Tulane. Those will be the only two I think that can make an argument. Like their fans can get on social media and make a legit argument. Everybody else,
yeah. And I would have, yeah, I would have put like, I still think that ECU and Tulane could be like in the very top, but if we're just saying one has to be at the top, I'm going to say ECU, partially because I'm biased, but also because I really do think that I like the teal or whatever, but after a while, I don't like looking at it. I never get tired of looking at purple and gold.
Nice. I mean, I can agree. I can agree.
Yo, I am
now
beat. I don't know if I've been yawning this whole time. I'm sorry, guys.
Josh, what you said?
I was just gonna say when ECU and Tulane play each other, hardly ever do we get the best of both worlds. It's like going through these is just like, okay, who picked the worst of the worst? Like that Tulane, why were they wearing black?
That was awful. Had no business doing that.
Oh well. All right, that's all I got.
Love it.
All right, walk the plank.
I've got nothing this week. We've been off for a long time. I'm not mad at nobody in sports right now. Ain't nothing going on in sports right now, so I ain't gonna walk the plank.
Bronny.
What you mad at Bronny for, man? Leave Bronny alone, bro. Bronny trying to establish himself. What the hell you mad at Bronny for?
Get that.
What did Bronny do to you, Jared Shafford? What did
he's related to LeBron James
do to you? Leave that 19-year-old kid alone.
Y'all see and I know I was gonna say this was my walk the plank until she came out, but did y'all see the national anthem during the home run derby?
I couldn't watch it.
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
I got through like 30 seconds. Like, I gotta turn this off. This is cringe.
Y'all know the story by now, right?
She's drunk.
Yeah.
Comes out, says she's drunk. That was gonna be my walk the plank because it was such a terrible rendition of the national anthem. But since she said that she was an alcoholic, I'm gonna give her a pass. So we're all alcoholics.
That's what we do here. That's what we do here.
Man.
All right.
Get on with the ECU.
I don't got anything else. Anything else from you guys? If not, we'll close this thing out.
Good episode, fellas.
Sounds good.
Good job.
I'll
All
be
right.
on Twitch.
Yeah, go watch Josh's stream. I'm gonna try to figure out this streaming thing in the next couple of days. Follow us on social media at Boneyard Podcast, at the Boneyard Podcast on TikTok. Subscribe on our YouTube, and then also leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast. 5-star review, you're a friend of the podcast for life. 1-star review, you can walk the damn plank. All right, Artie, let's get out of here.
As always, Pirate Nation, we appreciate you. We love y'all. Wash your hands, wash your butts. Deuce.